We are going to pray that the Lord will arise on your behalf, arise on behalf of your family. The Lord will arise on behalf of your children and cause your enemies that are lurking, hiding, who have set traps and snares to take you by surprise, who want to ambush you, ambushment, demonic ambushment, witchcraft ambushment. And usually you will not know. You just entered into the month, entered into the week or day thinking everything is usual, normal. But you don't know that it is the very week or month or day that somebody intends to sabotage the plans of God for your life. Somebody plans to attack your marriage with divorce. Somebody wants to attack your children with sickness. Somebody wants you to die prematurely. A lady called me just 4 days ago, last week, and from New York. She was about to journey from New York to another state. Her uncle had offered to give her a ride the next day. So when the day had come, and she was calling uncle to come and pick her up and bring her and take her to the airport for her to travel. She's been calling and calling uncle, no response. So she told a relative, could you check on uncle why I'm not hearing from him? And yet he offered to give me a ride to the airport. They went into uncle's room only to realize he was dead. Uncle was dead. They called the paramedics ambulance and they declared him dead on the spot. And she called me crying. She wasn't anticipating unforeseen danger, unforeseen attack. I just spoke to uncle yesterday. Uncle was doing well. No sign of sickness. Strong, vibrant. Every week we've talked. Everything is okay. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll call you tomorrow. I'll pick you tomorrow. Fine. Within 24 hours, uncle is gone. So I was thinking maybe uncle may be very old. So I said, how old is uncle? Uncle is just 55, around 50s, 55. But dead. So when they came, was he sick? No. They said heart failure, heart attack. I'm trying to let somebody know that the enemy is at work. There are attacks that we don't even know. Traps, snares, calamities, tragedies, woes, arrows, and darts that are being released by our enemies, waiting for us to fall in, to be victimized. And for that reason, as I enter into a new month, enter into a new week, enter into the day, God must arise and cause my enemies, those who have ganged up, those who have collaborated, those who have gathered together, those who are networking, those who have come in an ungodly, unrighteous assembly, holding evil conferences and summits to destroy my destiny, to attack me this month, attack me this week, attack my life, attack my children, attack my health, attack my finances, attack my destiny, attack my spouse, attack my properties. Sometimes they are after your properties. If they can't get you directly, they will try and get you indirectly through your loved ones. If we can't get you because you are praying and fasting, at least we can get your son. At least we can get your daughter. At least we can hit your husband or your wife. We can hit your brother or your sister. We can hit your parents. And it will still affect you just as though it is you. Because we know these are very close to you, dear to you. So when the devil cannot attack you directly, he goes to launch the attack, indirect attack against you by launching an attack against your loved ones. And if protection is covering your loved ones also, and they can't penetrate through your loved ones, the next third attack is your properties. At least we can attack your car, attack your house, attack your finances, attack your job, attack your they will attack things that belongs to you, that you still feel it. Oh, my car is broken. I'm losing my job. My house caught fire. This is damage. I must repair it. You will still be distressed by the things that you need to use that are under attack. They attacked Job personally, physically. And they also attacked his loved ones, killed all his children. And they also launched an attack against all his properties, or everything lost. The last blow was to kill him. The last blow, the last attack was to kill him. But God says, I will not permit it. I will not permit it. I pray that the Lord will not permit your enemies to execute their evil, diabolic assignment, atrocities, woes against you this month, this week, today. And that's why this prayer is very important. Psalms 68 verse 1. Let God arise. First, you're going to pray, let God arise and let my enemies, familiar enemies, my enemies that wish my downfall, enemies that are programming, planning, scheming, devising, orchestrating, composing, plotting, strategizing, computing evil against me, wherever they have gathered, wherever they have assembled, wherever they are meeting, wherever they are networking, wherever they are collaborating, whatever ungodly, unholy alliances, league, team, satanic teamwork of witches, wizards, demons, familiar spirits, all working together just because they're after you, holding evil summits, evil conferences, just as you and I are holding prayer conference in order to pray to our God. Somebody is also holding a conference and people are calling on the line. And this time it may not be physical, but it's a spiritual thing. When you are asleep, they are meeting. Somebody from your mother's house is bringing an idea. Somebody also from your father's house is bringing an idea. A witch in your neighborhood is bringing an idea. A wizard at your workplace is bringing an idea. Even an agent in your church is also bringing an idea. And they are all saying, what can we do to destroy her? What can we do to frustrate him? What can we do that this month, this week, today, we destroy her or we destroy him? A satanic alliances. But the Bible says in Isaiah 54, they shall gather, but not because of me. They shall assemble, but I didn't tell them to assemble. Whoever will assemble, whoever will gather for your sake, they shall fail, they shall fall, they shall fall, they shall fall. Whatever they are planning, it shall not stand. It shall not prosper. You are going to pray this prayer. And pray it with holy violence. Pray it aggressively. Because we are at war. And as I told you, before we even entered, I knew that there's a spirit of destruction, a spirit of death is being released into the atmosphere. Let God arise. Let my enemies be scattered. Let God arise. Let my enemies be scattered. Let God arise. Let my enemies be scattered. Let God arise. Let my enemies, let them be scattered. Let God arise. Let my enemies, let them be scattered. Let God arise. Let my enemies, let them be scattered. Let God arise. Let my enemies, let them be scattered. Let God arise. Let my enemies, let them be scattered. Let God arise. Let my enemies, let them be scattered. Let God arise. Let my enemies, let them be scattered. Let God arise. Let my enemies, let them be scattered. Any meeting, any gathering of witches, of wizards, agents of darkness, evil people, haters, enemies, within, familiar spirit, monitoring spirit, ancestral spirit, witchcraft spirit, from my mother's house, from my father's house, in my community, around me, people who are pretending to be friends but are enemies, that the enemy has employed to monitor me, to destroy me. Let God arise and let my enemies, Father, whoever is an enemy to my destiny, an enemy to my purpose, an enemy to your plan for my life, oh God, arise. Just Lord God, arise. Oh God, arise and let my enemies be scattered. Begin to lift up your voice and begin to pray. Let God arise. 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 Arise, oh God, and let my enemies be scattered. Arise, oh God, and let my enemies be scattered. Arise, O God, and let my enemies be scattered. Arise, O God, and cause my enemies. Let them be scattered. Scatter them, O Lord. Let them be scattered. Scatter them, O God. Let them be scattered. Scatter them, O God. Arise, O God. In the name of Jesus. Let God arise. Let God arise. Let God arise. Let my enemies within, enemies without, witchcraft spirits, demonic spirit, familiar spirit, from my mother's house, from my father's house, witchcraft spirit, from covens, any meetings of agents of darkness in their courts, practicing witchcraft. Let God arise and cause my enemies, let them be scattered. Enemies of my marriage, let them be scattered. Enemies of my children, let them be scattered. Enemies of my ministry, let them be scattered. Enemy of my husband, let them be scattered. Enemies of my wife, let them be scattered. Enemy of my job, let them be scattered. Enemy of my education, let them be scattered. Enemies of my finances, let them be scattered. Enemies of my properties, let them be scattered. Enemies of my loved ones, let them be scattered. Enemies of my family, let them be scattered. Enemies of my education, let them be scattered. In the name of Jesus, enemies of my health, let them be scattered. Arise, O God. Arise, O God. Scatter my enemies. Scatter my haters. Scatter my enemies. Scatter my haters. Scatter my enemies. Scatter my enemies. Scatter my enemies. Scatter my haters. Scatter my enemies. Oh Lord, arise. Let God arise. Let God arise. Let God arise. Let my enemies scatter them, scatter them, scatter them, scatter them, scatter them in the name of Jesus.